What good, y'all? It's your boy, Church Baby, back with another video. We're gonna react to my boy on here, to the old production. I think Omation. I think that's the name of the production. But it's gonna be an interesting video. I already know it. So hope y'all having a blessed day today. Hope y'all doing good and hope y'all staying safe. I hope y'all ready because this is gonna be a great video. Let's get into it. And don't mind me if y'all hear me crunching. I'm eating chips. First time I'm eating today. Been knocked out sleep. But let's get it.
Hi, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Illuminating television.
Okay, so O Entertainment starts off with Steve Oedekerk. Born in Seattle, Washington, his parents would move to Huntington Beach, California, and graduate from Day High School in Santa Monica and Golden West College in his hometown of Huntington Beach. At the start of his career in the entertainment world, Steve would get into acting. While also making shows for UPN, ABC, and NBC, he would also do scripts for Fox from the 80s to the 90s. While working on the show In Living Color, he would meet actor Jim Carrey and do various collaborations. The first indie project to come from Oedekerk outside of network shows was Smart Alex in 1987, but was never released. By 1991, Oedekerk would create High Strung, and wrote, filmed, and acted in it himself as the protagonist Thane Furrows. But leave a bookmark here for... Steve Oedekerk founded O Entertainment in 1990 to achieve independence and not rely on networks for notoriety. His early work were Thumbation series, such as Thumb War, Bat Thumb, and Thumbmatic. Steve would also take interest in the Johnny Quasar prototype of Jimmy Neutron, and would be in collaboration with DNA Productions in the late 90s while producing his first show, The O Show.
I'm Steve Oedekerk. Not now.
The O Show was made for NBC on September 3rd, 1997. It was mainly going to be a series, however was tested as a TV special. This special was the first of its kind in surreal comedy to use more than one animation technique such as computer animation. O Entertainment would fail to release it as an ongoing series, but distributed the special into a VHS, which is in rare condition for those who can find the movie. There were talks of a sequel, but were never realized. By the late 90s, Oedekerk would be in both his animation studio while making films such as The Nutty Professor, Ace Ventura, and Nothing to Lose, while at the same time making his second animated film, Santa vs. the Snowman 3D. By 99, DNA and O Productions would create the pilot for Barnyard. O Entertainment would partner with DNA.
I'm gonna say this before you finish. Oh, Entertainment has some classics. You about to see, but I didn't know he worked with Living Color. I didn't know he worked with ABC. All them, so he had a pretty good come up. A lot of people don't have that.
Productions and make the Jimmy Neutron movie, and then The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius series on Nickelodeon in 2001. By 2002, O Entertainment would make Omation, a division dedicated to animated series that were not in collaboration with DNA. The first original was Barnyard, and it wasn't as good as Oedekerk would imagine it to be. With a $51 million budget, it would be released 4 years later from Nickelodeon as he was in a deal with Universal in 2003. The movie, which was made by Omation, would mostly get poor reviews. Critics would call it, quote, unimaginative, aiming too far from where Pixar wouldn't even consider it, although they made movies like this years later. Barnyard, despite the negative critiques, would gross $116.5 million in the box office, getting the number 2 spot against Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, World Trade Center, and Step Up. Barnyard would be nominated for an 2006 Stinkers Bad Movie Award. By 2007, Back at the Barnyard would be on Nickelodeon for 2 seasons while making the failed show, which would shut it down. After the abrupt cancellation of The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, DNA Productions would close down. leaving the remaining crew to work for Omation. The first rendition of Planet Sheen was Red Acres, which was originally done by Keith Alcorn and Mike Gasaway. It was pitched to Nick first and rejected due to the original rule of having the main character be a child, while Cartoon Network and Kids WB would follow suit. Years later, would go back to Nickelodeon to pitch what was then another sequel focusing on Sheen and Carl, but only wanted the show to focus on Sheen. Nickelodeon would agree on keeping Carl, however would have to change his character scheme, but would still be voiced by Rob Paulson. Steve Banks would further the project after the greenlight. Core would do half of the animation until Bardo Entertainment would take over after the shutdown. Planet Sheen would release October 10th, 2010 during a dual premiere with Tough Puppy. The show would do horribly in views due to the fact that Sheen wouldn't work as a main character and more or less comic relief. Planet Sheen would only last one season and end in 2013. After 2013, the studio would shut down due to the failure of Planet Sheen. There were many talks of sequels to movies with certain collaborations, but never realized. O Entertainment was short-lived for a good reason. The studio didn't have much outside of Barnyard. Rehashing Steve Estevez wasn't a good thought, as Jimmy Neutron was more action-packed and worked with Sheen as comic relief. Giving him his own show wasn't a really good way of keeping the company going. On top of that, Omation was given DNA production employees after the shutdown, so it was only a matter of time before O Entertainment would have the same fate. Having more imaginative IPs would have helped the company out, but much like DNA, O only existed because Steve would collaborate with people within his circle, only proving that after Jimmy Neutron, O would have many problems staying afloat. With many projects in limbo, it is safe to say O will live on through Jimmy, and not Sheen.
Epilogue.
1, 2, 3, 4. We all can sing. Yes, we all can sing. We all can sing instead of she. What? I can sing. We all can sing. I can sing. Yes, we all can sing. Without time to shine. We all can sing instead of she.
But remember a few last month, actually I think it was last month, we did the DNA production reaction video, and DNA collab with O Productions, and they did, like he said, Back at Barnyard and Jimmy Neutron. We know Jimmy Neutron was is a classic. Right? People talk about Jimmy Neutron still to this day, so I hate that they didn't do more stuff outside of that, but I think they isolated themselves, and I think they brought their production down, because they could have really capitalized. Planet Sheen was it was an alright show, but no Jimmy Neutron, not like that. So the back in the Barnyard was a good show though. They ran for a little bit, so I don't know what they could have did after that, but they could at least pivot to something else that was like similar to that. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I know it was a short video, but this is one of the videos I've been waiting on. It's another video I'm waiting on for him to do a documentary on. I ain't gonna say what it is, but it's pretty good, because I always seen like the end credit show DNA production and O Productions. So it's good to see the production company that were behind these great shows that I grew up on, like Jimmy and the Backyard again, Back in the Barnyard. And they had games too, so that's what I loved about back in the day. They had games and everything. They were popular enough, they had a game. They had a computer game, or they had a game on I know back in the Barnyard had a game on PlayStation 2 or 3. I think it was 2. But yeah, they had games too, so y'all check them out. But y'all have a blessed one. God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit love you. I love you. We out. Stay safe. Check out my other videos I posted this week. And more videos coming, man. Y'all keep our eyes out, and we out, man.